Hello and welcome back to A Literary Cornucopia. This is your host, Louisa Morales, with episode 144. Today we're taking a look at J.R.R. Tolkien and his Letters from Father Christmas. What child would not be thrilled with a letter from Santa, St. Nicholas, Papa Noel, or Father Christmas? It's the excitement of communicating your wishes to that jolly old soul who could make them come true. I came across Tolkien's book, which had a collection of all the letters from Father Christmas. I'll give you a brief summary of the introduction to the book and read you a sample of one of the letters. J.R.R. Tolkien didn't just tell stories, he brought magic straight to his children every Christmas. Starting in 1920 and continuing for more than 20 years, Father Christmas sent the Tolkien children beautifully illustrated letters describing the life at the North Pole. These notes arrived with snowy envelopes, polar stamps, and vivid tales of his house, his friends, and the often chaotic adventures happening up north. Over time, the cast of characters grew. Alongside the ever-mischievous North Polar Bear, Father Christmas's main helper and frequent cause of holiday mishaps, came snow elves, red gnomes, cave bears, snowmen, and two of Polar Bear's rambunctious nephews. Later, an elf secretary named Ilberith joined the story, especially as the North Pole found itself defending its stores from goblin attacks, events that had conveniently explained why the children sometimes received substitutes in their stockings. The collection of letters preserves Father Christmas's shaky handwriting, Tolkien's charming illustrations, and even an alphabet invented by the polar bear, inspired by goblin cave markings. Together, they reveal a world Tolkien built privately for his own children, full of humor, wonder, and the early echoes of his myth-making imagination. And here's a transcript of one of Father Christmas's letters. Cliff House, top of the world, near the North Pole. Christmas, 1925. My dear boys, I am dreadfully busy this year. It makes my hand more shaky than ever when I think of it, and not very rich. In fact, awful things have been happening, and some of the presents have got spoilt, and I haven't got the North Polar Bear to help me, and I have had to move house just before Christmas. So you can imagine what a state everything is in. And you will see why I have a new address, and why I can only write one letter between you both. It all happened like this. One very windy day last November, my hood blew off and went and stuck on the top of the North Pole. I told him not to, but the North Polar Bear climbed up to the thin top to get it down. And he did. The pole broke in the middle and fell on the roof of my house, and the North Polar Bear fell through the hole it made into the dining room with my hood over his nose. And all the snow fell off the roof into the house and melted and put out all the fires and ran down into the cellars where I was collecting this year's presents. And the North Polar Bear's leg got broken. He is well again now, but I was so cross with him that he says he won't try to help me again. I expect his temper is hurt and will be mended by next Christmas. I send you a picture of the accident and of my new house on the cliffs above the North Pole, with beautiful cellars in the cliffs. If John can't read my old shaky writing, 1,925 years old, he must get his father to. When is Michael going to learn to read and write his own letters to me? Lots of love to you both and Christopher, whose name is rather like mine. That's all. Goodbye, Father Christmas. Well, what do you think of the letter? Looks like Father Christmas was covering up some things, right? The struggles during this season. Now for a bit of information on Tolkien. J.R.R. Tolkien was an English writer and scholar best known for The Hobbit and his sweeping epic, The Lord of the Rings. He was born in South Africa on January 3, 1892, but grew up in England, where he developed a deep love of stories, languages, and mythology. Tolkien eventually became a professor at Oxford And his fascination with words, how they sound, where they come from, how they shape cultures, ended up inspiring the worlds he created. His experiences from surviving World War I to spending years studying ancient literature all helped form the rich, layered world of Middle-earth. And while we mostly remember him for the big, iconic works, he also wrote poems, essays, and an entire mythology that continued to grow long after his lifetime. Tolkien died in 1973, but his imagination reshaped fantasy storytelling for generations. If you want to learn more about this unique writer, check out my episode 107, J.R.R. Tolkien, The Man Behind the Myth. Letters always take us back in time and place. Tolkien's letters take us into a magical world that we treasure. It's a world not only for children, but also for adults, because we are all children at heart. Thank you for joining me for this episode. If you enjoyed this reading and discussion, feel free to subscribe or leave a review. And join me next time as we explore another writer and his work. You may also send me an email at A Literary Cornucopia podcast@gmail.com. Until then, keep the light of imagination burning. This is your host, Luisa Morales, wishing you, as always, happy reading and listening.